Thanks. Should I sit or, yeah, I'll go ahead and sit. I might get up because I get super excited about this type of stuff. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Welcome to Barcelona. This is my second time here, and super thankful for the AVAX team for having me. My name is Calvin. I'm the founder and CEO of Legitimate. We are the premier Phygital ecosystem. So we help brands and projects bring real-life products on-chain, leveraging NFTs and NFC technology. So I think the first thing that I want to kick off talking about is how we've really only scratched the surface for how we can interface with the real world. Right? I mean, all of you are here in person at an event. There's things like merch. I see people wearing project T-shirts, brand T-shirts. And this is sort of the culmination of what we've started to see in this space, especially as we talk about Web2 and Web3, right? A lot of brands, we'll dive into it a little more, have started approaching and entering the Web3 space, not really knowing what to do. They launch an NFT project, and in search of utility, they turn to the one thing that a lot of people turn to, which is apparel and merch. So we've sort of coined this term, not just in the Web3 space, but also in the retail industry, this concept of Phygital, which is the merge of physical and digital. To truly, really understand how this all got started, let's take it back, way back, 4 years ago, which is 40 years in crypto time span. Let's talk about Unisocks really quick, right? So Unisocks operated on a very, very simple model, and I'm not going to be talking about the bonding curve, nothing related to speculation or DeFi. Specifically talking about their physical redemption model. You have a token, you can burn it to redeem the physical thing. Super simple, and we've seen this play out again and again and again in the Web3 space. We could do better. So in came what I call the split model, or the who gives a crap model, that more recent NFT projects have been focusing on. This concept that, hey, actually, there's an NFT that represents a physical product that you can redeem. And once you've redeemed it, you can do whatever you want with either of those two products. What happens that we've seen in this space is that the physical product can actually exchange hands separate from the NFT itself. So in this model, let's take a look at Artifact, right, releasing their Phygital hoodie that they call, quote unquote, Phygital. And what we're seeing now is that these hoodies are being sold on secondary marketplaces like StockX, like Goat, like eBay, to owners that don't own the actual NFT anymore. And the NFTs are being sold on marketplaces like OpenSea, Zora, whatever. And what you get is this split in ownership between the physical asset and the digital asset. So more recently, there has been the rise of this concept of merging the physical and digital worlds. We're bringing NFTs to real life using NFCs. I think this was popularized more recently by Azuki with their PBT model, which is the pool-to-own model. And what this means is that anybody who has ownership of the physical asset can scan an NFC tag on the product to then claim ownership of the digital asset. Great, amazing. We're now in line, but what this opens us up to is a slew of problems. One being anybody can claim the digital asset. Two, there's really no room for other projects to build on top of this, right? Ultimately, the physical comes first. If I wanted to sell my NFT of the Zuki hoodie on OpenSea, I couldn't do that because if I sold it, I could just claim it back the next day by scanning the tag on the hoodie. And this is a really big problem, right? And this is actually what I've been working on and the entire Legitimate team has been working on for the last 4 years. So we started Legitimate in 2019, focused on one thing, is to create an underlying digital infrastructure for physical products. And today we're actually announcing our model that we've been operating on for a while now, called the locked NFT model. I'm going to leave this on stage here for a little bit. It gets kind of complicated, but it's just a really simple implementation of soulbound token technology. We call this actually semi-soulbound. So what happens is actually we have a hook that hooks onto a standard NFT contract so that every time you transfer an NFT to somebody else, that NFT becomes locked. You don't get any token benefits. You can't transfer it any further. It's effectively soulbound. And the only way to unlock that soulbound token is by scanning the NFC tag and verifying a digital signature that the tag emits on-chain. And what this creates is a catch-up mechanism. Basically, as long as you're sending the NFT asset to the new owner of the product, they can scan the tag and basically bring parity back to the product itself. I don't want to stick on this slide for too long. I have limited time, but I'll stick around and answer any questions you guys might have. But you know, like I said before, this opens us up to a slew of possibilities, right? Other projects can now build on top of this locked model state. We're already doing that with tons of Web3 projects, not only in the Avalanche ecosystem, but also in the broader Ethereum and EVM compatible ecosystems. Marketplaces can also build on top of this locked state, basically ensuring that physical products and digital assets are being transferred hand to hand between old owners and new owners, and it's fully secure. There's no more forced transferring of assets as long as you have the physical asset. So closed beta, we're operating live right now. We're talking to tons of Web3 projects in the Avalanche ecosystem. We're working with world-renowned brands. This is going to be live in major retailers in North America and LATAM over the summer. And we're actually open sourcing it and introducing an EIP that's coming soon. So follow along if you guys are interested. But if not, I want to actually take a step back away from sort of all this protocol technological jargon. And let's just talk about how you can get started with Phygital, right? Here are all the steps, and possibly more. So we've seen a lot of projects who are interested in integrating NFC, integrating Phygital technology into sort of their activations, their real-life campaigns, and a lot of people get intimidated very quickly because there are a lot of steps. To do this securely and to do this properly involves way too many operational logistic steps, a lot of development time and money, and just an end-to-end headache overall, right? And that's where we come in. So like I mentioned before, Legitimate's actually end-to-end turnkey solution for brands to tap into a premier Phygital ecosystem. We work with some of the most culturally relevant brands in the world to create physical products with unique digital experiences. And remember that slide with all the steps? We handle all of that for you. We're an end-to-end solution. We handle sourcing NFC tags, manufacturing them, encoding them, integrating them into your products, NFT contract deployment, and minting on the locked NFT protocol that you just saw. Furthermore, we have a vast network of suppliers and manufacturers that you can tap into to produce anything from merch to prints to figurines, basically bringing your Web3 project to life. And we operate on a top-notch user interface. We handle everything for your customers, and we operate on a customer-first basis, which means we cover everything from gas transactions on Avalanche and Polygon, not Ethereum mainnet. And we also offer custodial wallet options. So I think before we go any further, I'm talking really, really fast. I'm going to have some time for Q&A at the end, hopefully. But I just wanted to show everybody how all this works. So this is a case study we did with Nike a couple years ago. We integrated a tag into a pair of Air Force Ones. You scan it, and it pulls up the NFT. So in this situation, it has already been claimed, but let's take a look at what the auth flow looks like for something that hasn't been claimed. So this is a screen recording of how easy it is to effectively unlock an NFT that is tied to a physical product. In this example, we're leveraging a custodial wallet solution using SMS to create a wallet for this end customer, two-factor auth, boom. The NFT is being unlocked and transferred into that custodial wallet. It takes, less than 5 seconds end-to-end. And here we have a demo token on Goerli locked to an NFC tag that is implemented into a t-shirt. So let's talk about Legitimate really quick. We've tokenized over 25,000 physical products. We've been operating for the last 4 years, working with everything from super small Web3 projects to large enterprise brands being distributed globally as well as regional markets. But I think specifically for today, I want to focus on something that we're all here to celebrate a little bit, and that's Avalanche Summit. So super excited to announce the official Avalanche and Legitimate collaboration. This is where we kick off our partnership with Avalanche. We're announcing that our protocol is actually live on Avalanche today with 2 exclusive sets of hoodies and t-shirts, each tokenized on-chain, uniquely numbered, that you can buy at the merch store. What was supposed to be today, but actually is tomorrow because it's stuck in customs. Anyway, for anybody who buys these hoodies, scans the tag, and unlocks the NFT, you actually get token-gated VIP access to the after party hosted by Moongate and Avalanche tomorrow. So I think ultimately the last question is, you're all here, whether you've built a DeFi brand, an NFT brand, a Web3 project, or you operate in a traditional Web2 space, right? You've built a brand. Now let's make it legit. Here's some of our clients, partners. Like I said, we work with big enterprise brands globally. We work with small, local, regional brands. We work with Web3 projects, events. We want to help make your Web3 projects a reality in real life. Let's work together. I don't know if Q&A is a thing, but we have 6 minutes left, and I completely planned it, perfectly. So I wanted to see if anybody had any questions. A hand right there. Yeah, actually, so that's a really big problem that a lot of people run into when dealing with NFC technology, is that a lot of NFC tags don't work against metal, right? And like I said, because we operate end-to-end and we handle most of this for you, we actually do have NFC tags that work against metal, and we're able to experiment and try different things with you guys. So I think with jewelry, it's a little hard because the form factor of things like earrings and rings can be much smaller than something like a t-shirt, but open to having a conversation. Let's chat about it, and we could definitely send some samples your way. Cool? Any other questions? Hand over there. Sorry, can you repeat that? Yeah, so we work, with brands and projects at every step of the manufacturing process. So we integrate when you want to integrate. So for brands, we've worked directly with factories in Asia, in Southeast Asia, in other parts of the world where we integrate it from the point of manufacturing all the way through distribution. So it is actually possible, all these buzzwords and all these topics that you see online talking about sustainability, product tracking, how blockchain can be great for supply chain. Leveraging this technology actually makes that feasible in real life use cases. Question?
So you guys use the NTAG?
Yeah.
424?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the new one.
Yes.
But there's only one supplier, right? So then we can just buy it exactly.
So there actually are multiple suppliers. You actually still have to encode those yourself and figure out how to verify those signatures on chain. So we handle all that process for you, and our protocol allows for on-chain verification of those digital signatures, which hasn't actually been possible up until now. So we operate on 2 business models. We work directly with Web3 projects and smaller brands on a per unit basis. So we charge per unit. We cover all gas fees on Avalanche and Polygon and other L2s. And we also cover all sort of end-to-end transactions, custodial wallet, user management. That's per unit. And then for bigger brands, we have an enterprise contact us model where we figure out multi-year engagements and stuff like that. Any other questions? One more over there. That's really interesting, actually. And yeah, what we're seeing in the industry as a whole is that a lot of people are starting to use this technology, use Web3, use NFTs, but not want to use the terminology, Web3, NFTs, et cetera. So one thing that we've started using is this idea of branding it in a way that's more friendly to non-Web3 native people. That's why we handle things like custodial wallet user management. That's why we enable SMS email sign-on. Ultimately, where we come in is we create that end-to-end experience for you so you don't have to figure it out as a project on how to educate your customers, how to educate your brands to go from step integration all the way to distribution. So the answer to your question is yes, we use a variety of terms to obfuscate that away. Question right there. What's that? I was ready for this question. So we have a recovery model, and basically this is similar to the pool-to-own model that I was talking about, but instead of enabling just the tag to actually force transfer the NFT, we actually create you could call it a DAO, but we create a multi-ownership, like a multi-sig wallet with the brand themselves that can actually review what we call claims. So every time, if you send a physical item to somebody else without sending the NFTs, that new person can actually scan the tag to submit a claim. It doesn't immediately force transfer, but basically it gives the brand a spectrum of confidence on whether or not the person scanning the item is actually the new owner of the item. And for those brands, we determine a claim threshold that once it's hit, it will then actually transfer the NFT to the new person. Thanks for asking that. I wasn't actually going to hit that slide. Anybody else? We got 30 seconds. Cool. I'll stick around if you, oh, sorry, right there.
I was going to ask, what happens if the other way around?
The other way around is you send the NFT, but you don't send the physical item, right? And what we do is we actually work and form partnerships with marketplaces so that eventually the idea is that those marketplaces will not actually terminate the transaction and distribute the funds until the physical item is sent and the customer scans the tag and unlocks the NFT. So that really goes back to the locked and unlocked state of the NFT itself. The EIP is coming. It's being implemented in several protocols, and it's a work in progress. Anything else? Cool. One there. Yes, yeah, so that goes back to the NTAG424 question that gentleman asked earlier. So these tags allow us to write custom software into them. And what we can do is by writing custom software, it actually emits a digital signature. It's an AES 128 signature that we can actually now leverage our protocol to verify on-chain. So it is a dynamic URL, basically. Scaled by unit, let's talk after this. Cool. I think we're good. We're over time. But thank you all so much for tuning in. This was amazing. And I'll stick around.